Adding a fan favorite gun to GTA Online. One would think that's a simple thing to do, but we're in GTA Online. We're dealing with Rockstar here. Nothing is ever simple, as we all know. The M16 though, that was finally released today in GTA Online. I mean, it's kind of been in the game files because it was actually promoted in the summer DLC like a month ago, but it was just part of the drip feed. But finally, it is in the game. Except for that, you can't just buy it. No, that would be too simple. That'd be too easy. You have to find it. And oh my god, this is the freaking worst thing they've ever done. It takes so long to get this thing unlocked. But in this video, I'm gonna explain and show you guys where you can find it, how to find it, and some of the best ways to go about doing this process, because there's probably 3 ways you can go about it, and they're all a little bit different. Some are gonna be a little bit more annoying than others, but most of them will take you quite a while. So let's go ahead and hop right in. Now, the M16, the first thing you should know is how we actually can find it. And these were a couple of points posted, I think by Lost Warrior on the GTA forums. So there's actually a tunable to make it purchasable for $370,000, except that's not actually the case right now. So more than likely in maybe a week or two, Rockstar will make this purchasable in the ammunition. So I guess that's the first way you can unlock it. You can just wait until it's purchasable and then just do that. That might be the easiest route for everyone. But if you do want it today, if you want it now, the second point, there are these crime scenes that spawn every 30-ish or so minutes around the map, and that's how you find the M16. You have to actually find 5 of these crime scenes, and that'll unlock 5 of the parts to build the M16, and once you get 5, then you get the gun. Now, as you can see, the crime scenes, they spawn every 30 minutes, so that means you'll be spending about 2.5 hours. And that's if you get very lucky and you do this very efficiently. More than likely, you're going to be spending 3 to 4 hours trying to look for these 5 parts. He says you can also get the same crime scene multiple times. Once you collect all 5 of the parts, you'll be given the gun immediately, and it does have its own unique sound even when suppressed, and it sounds nice. Now, as far as where these crime scenes are, here's a map. I showed this in the last video for the LD Organic products, but it also has the crime scene locations, and it's just the easiest map. Put this maybe on a second monitor or something. Link will be in the description, but you can see there are 10 of these locations, but they are across the entire map. So that's one of the reasons it makes this very annoying, because it's random, it's RNG as to which location the crime scene will spawn, and that means you're just gonna have to fly around the whole map, and you're gonna have to hit all 10 of these locations and hope you get one of them to spawn. We have 4 kind of up here in the north, up in Sandy Shores, 1 up, of course, in Paleto Bay, and then we have the remaining 6 sort of down here in the city. 1 is way over here on the west. 1 is way down here by the pier or the docks, whatever. And then you have the 4 sort of in the middle of the city. Now, what I was doing, the sort of route I was taking, I don't know if it's the most efficient or not, but I would start down here. So this would be a start. This is a terrible handwriting. But I would start down here, mainly because I was using the Hydra, as we're going to find out. That's one of the tips. Use a plane, because you're going to go a lot faster. But there's actually, I think like right here, there's a little spawn point for the Hydra. So if you do start down here, your plane will spawn right next to you. And I would just sort of fly this way, and then zigzag back, and then come up here, and then here, and then here, and then boom, and here. Again, I don't know if that's the most efficient way possible. That's what I was doing. And the good news with these locations, you don't need to be right next to them for them to show up on the minimap, but they are going to show up on the minimap like pretty much every other thing. It's going to be a little blue dot. And you can see here's the first one I found is actually right by the pier. The blue dot shows up again from a decent distance. And in this particular instance, I'm in the Sparrow, but all we're going to do is go down to the dot. There are 2 cops down here. And in the middle of them, there is the first part for the M16. Now you walk up to it, you just hit right on the D-pad, and then it'll pick it up. Now, again, because, you know, it's Rockstar, it's GTA Online, nothing ever seems to work. They didn't even get stars on me, but normally what happens, you pick this piece up and you get 2 stars, and of course the cops, they start shooting at you, but again, I don't know, the game's just fundamentally broken, and I don't know, gave me the thing for free. You can see also at the top right, you get $5,000 for each part. I mean, that's nothing. But that was the first part that I got. Now, the second part that I got actually took me almost like an hour and a half-ish maybe to find. And I will say that first part was found in a public lobby. This second part was actually found in an invite-only lobby. So these things do spawn in invite-only lobbies. The problem that arises is if you're doing this in an invite-only lobby, and this is the second way to get it, you have to wait literally like 30-ish minutes before a new crime scene can respawn. And I'll touch more on that in a sec, but you can see in this clip for the second one, I'm in a Hydra, which again, I would recommend just because you get to go a lot faster. There might be a better plane, maybe like the Alpha Z1 might be better just because that thing goes super fast. But we're gonna fly over one of the areas, and again, from a decent ways it shows up. Although, one thing I noticed, if you do go further away from it, it will disappear from the map. And I thought for a second, it despawned, but thankfully that wasn't the case. So if it does show up and then disappears from your map, it should still be there. You just have to get a little bit closer, and again, you can see it did show up or reappear on the minimap. And we're just gonna go up here. Now this time, the cops did come after me, so I picked up the part, got part 2 of 5, got $5,000, and then the cops come after me. So the second way of getting the M16 is basically sitting in an invite-only lobby for like 3 hours, and then every 30 or so minutes, you fly around the map finding one of the parts. So that might be the easiest way, but it is going to be the longest because you are going to have to sit in an invite-only lobby for like 3 to 4 hours and just every 30-ish minutes fly around the map hoping one of these crime scenes spawn. The one issue with this though, and I've seen this from a decent amount of people, half the time the things don't even spawn. People were waiting upwards of like 40 to even 50 minutes in invite-only lobbies, and these crime scenes would not spawn. So it's just, I don't know, I guess it seems to be RNG. It's supposed to spawn after about 20 to 30 minutes, but because it's GTA Online and it is Rockstar, it sometimes does not work that way. The other downside is that if you switch lobbies, like if you switch to another invite-only session thinking maybe that'll refresh the timer, well, that's actually what happens. It refreshes the timer because it does seem that the timer is based off of your session. So if you're in one invite-only lobby, you're waiting, let's say you waited 30 or so minutes, but it's not spawning, maybe it's glitched out or something. If you go into another invite-only session, that timer is gonna go back to 0. So then you're gonna have to wait another 30 minutes before these crime scenes will spawn. So that's why this is taking forever, is because sometimes it's not working. Now, the third way of getting this is actually by hopping through public lobbies. Now, public lobbies are a bit different than invite-only lobbies because I guess the timer, since it's session-based and not like based off of you yourself, I guess it depends on whenever that public lobby was started. So the fastest way is to simply hop into a public lobby, fly around the map, checking all 10 of the locations. If they're not there, simply hop into another public lobby and keep doing this process over and over again. Now, this might be one of the more annoying ways to get it because, especially if you're on PC like myself, hopping public sessions is not a good thing because all it does is give you access to more and more modders. Every single lobby I seem to join had a modder in it. Also, more and more griefers probably coming after you, and that happened a ton of times. I'm just flying, minding my own business, I get killed. And then also, if you're in a public lobby, all those other things can spawn, like business battles and stuff, and I think maybe that affects these crime scenes spawning as well. But the one benefit of joining these public lobbies, again, is the speed. If you were lucky enough, then the second, maybe not the second you spawn into a public lobby, but if you're flying around, you don't necessarily need to wait 30 minutes for the crime scenes to spawn. Sometimes they'll just spawn right away. And I believe that's sort of what happened to me on my first one. When I got the first part, I immediately switched to a public lobby, flew around, and then I, hit up the little pier area, and the crime scene did spawn. I guess another downside of public lobbies is other people can potentially go to the crime scenes and take your parts. But if you are in a hurry, that might be the best route of doing it. Now, as far as flying around, if you are in a public lobby, I'd probably recommend a stealth helicopter, just because then people don't even know you're flying around. Again, I use the Hydra and the Oppressor Mark II and constantly got killed, whether it was by modders or griefers. If you're in an invite-only lobby, again, I would recommend a plane, some sort of fast plane. And one thing I actually noticed when I was in the public lobby flying around the Hydra, again, I would start at the bottom of the pier, or of like the docks, whatever it's called. And once I got up to Mount Chiliad, or once I got up to the Paleto Bay area, if I just hit find new session, like while I was flying, the game didn't really save that I was up there. So when I got into the new session, it would actually spawn me back at the docks, and then I would just repeat the whole process again. So it did make it a little bit faster, but that does only work if you don't see the little spinny loading icon at the bottom right. Now at the very end, if you get all 5 parts, this is the screen you will see. It'll say at the top left, the service carbine has been assembled and added to your weapon wheel, and it goes right away. And that upgrades can be purchased for this rifle at Ammunition. You also get a little $55,000 bonus, which again is nothing. So it's like, is it really worth it? Probably not, but you're mainly doing this, of course, for the M16, not the money. And if you were wondering what all of the customization options were, you don't really even get that many. I mean, it's just the basic options. You have the default clip, the extended clip, the flashlight, the suppressor, the grip, and then all of the tints. Now, obviously, the M16, it looks great. The model actually is pretty solid that Rockstar put in here. And overall, I mean, it's a great weapon. I mean, it doesn't do anything special. It's just the same as all the other rifles. I mean, it obviously doesn't have any of the Mark II stuff or any of the other crazy attachments. But as far as killing people in the game, like it's all the same stuff. And it is a nice thing to add, especially nowadays. I mean, they haven't really added a weapon like this, like a realistic looking weapon in a while. So it's a nice change of pace from all the alien stuff they've added. It's just getting the weapon takes forever. It's such a stupid mechanic Rockstar put in. So that's sort of where we're at. If you want it, you either have to go through public lobby after public lobby hoping you don't get griefed, or you just sit through an invite-only lobby for like 3 or 4 hours, or you just wait and hope next week they put it into Ammunition for that $370,000 price tag. So anyway, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully I did a good enough job explaining it. It's very frustrating, but in the end, you do get the M16. Thank you guys for watching. Please drop the video a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe for more GTA content. And as always, I'll see you all in the next one.
Oh my God. What? Yeah. What? Oh! No! Oh! Look at my screen! Look at my screen! What?